Good morning. Welcome. I'm Leanne Peters, and this is our Patreon personal healing event. So I'll be here for an hour at least, connecting with those patrons who pledge at the $50 level or higher. So thank you all for your support. So we have 6 people on the healing list today, and of course I have you in my little froggy pot. So I'm going to pluck your names out of here. Whoops, if I don't drop you all. Pluck your names out of here as I go and let it all unfold. So I'll be working today in conjunction with my healing energy cards. So I've got healing energy cards, the upgraded deck here, deck 1, and then my newest deck, healing energy cards 2. So these have been combined to make a 110 card deck. So I'll be using this deck. I'm going to pull a card at the beginning and the end of each connection. So I'll be spending approximately 10 minutes connecting with each person and tuning in and seeing what's loudest in their energy, which might be yours if I'm connecting with you. And then I'll do what I need to do. So basically I have to make some decisions when I'm connecting with people, because I connect in and I feel what's going on. So as I tune in, the way that I tune in that works for me, and then whatever's loudest I detect first is what the first things that I pick up on. And then I have to make some choices based on my intuition and what I'm feeling, which is basically my intuition, to decide what needs to be done with this energy. What do we need to do? Do we need to let things go? Do we need to enhance something? What is required? So there are a lot of decisions that I make as I'm letting the energy unfold, and I'm sort of thinking things through, very, very quickly to feel on which choice feels the best. So sometimes I'll vocally pose questions as a way to just see how it feels if I go down that direction. Or I might be running a bunch of questions, like micro questions, just in my mind as I go, to feel upon which feels strongest or which feels like the best thing to do in this particular situation or instance. So I'll be tuning in. The way I tune in is, it might sound weird, but it works for me, is that I know what it feels like to be me. So I know myself pretty well, I would like to think. So I know the configuration of my energy. I know how I feel in this moment, being me. So as I tune into people, which means as I call someone's name or think of someone, I don't do this unless I'm doing an event like this, but as I think of this person or say this person's name, I start feeling new energies in my body and new feelings. So things that aren't my usual configuration of energy start getting my attention. Sometimes I get flashes or visions, or energy that I'm really feeling in my body. So a lot of it does come through my body. So I might feel something that I've got to then try and determine or interpret as best as I can. So I play with that energy a bit, and then I make some choices as I'm moving through. So I would like to always think that I have the highest truth for the person I'm connecting with in mind. So I would like to think that is my intention as I make the connection and as I do what needs to be done and what I feel needs to be done at the time. So I don't take the trust that you put on me, I don't take that lightly. I take it very seriously. Excuse me. So I take it seriously that you trust me to be able to connect with you and to be able to do what I determine I feel at the time. So I thank you very much for putting your trust in me. So that's probably all I really need to say here at the beginning. I'm very eager to dive in and see what happens, let things unfold. I don't have a plan, except I'm going to pull a name and pull a card at the beginning and the end. Everything else is up for grabs, if you like. I have no idea. I don't do anything. It's just in the moment and as everything unfolds. Jackie's here. Welcome, Jackie. Thank you. I felt like wearing blue today. As you can see, I see my earrings doing some cacking. It's moving. Okay, the first person I'm connecting with is Susan Sonsteng. So I also trust in the order that people come up in. Now, if you're waiting for your connection or you're not on my list today, I do trust you've been led here for a reason. And it's not unusual. In fact, it's very common for me to receive emails from people saying that that message for someone else was exactly what I needed to hear. So be open to receiving what you need if you're not the person I'm connecting with. Now, if you are the person I'm connecting with, like Susan right now, please take a nice big breath and be open to receiving what you need from this connection today. So the first person is Susan, and our first card to start this connection is from deck 1, and it's self-love. And what a beautiful energy. And I can feel this energy just coming down like a blanket or a cloud of love, and it's just slowly descending down over you, Susan. And it feels soft and loving, and it reminds me a bit of a rose quartz crystal, but much softer. But the color of it and the energy of it, so it's like this rose quartz colored cloud, this puff of fluff and softness and warmth that's coming down. It's descending down from above. It's coming from the slightly forward and down, so slightly diagonal, and it's just coming down over you and offering its support and love to you, which I feel this openness now drawing through in your body, this openness especially through the heart and the throat. Feels like this area and energy is opening so that you can receive this. So you can receive this gentle energy of support that's coming in to hold you and support you and love you at this time. So it's especially coming into here, although it is coming everywhere. It's a bit more concentrated here at the heart and the throat. And the throat, as I'm talking, your throat feels a little scratchy, like it feels a little scratchy, a little broken here in the throat. Your throat chakra is your center for communication, expression, and truth, and feeling safe to speak your truth and be who you are. So there's something scratchy. There's some like a bit of a scratchy energy that's moving in here as this soft energy comes in to fill up this area. It sort of comes in and it pushes out that scratchy energy here, where things feel a bit scratchy, and it reminds me of like cat's claws. So there may be a bit of tension or conflict or something that's playing out in communications or in relationships with other people at this time, because it feels very cat claws, you know, like the cat scratching on the scratching post. That's what it feels like here in your throat. And actually, as I talk about that scratching energy, there is this feeling of breathlessness that's coming in, and also this kind of pulled in feeling here at the solar plexus chakra. This is your power center, so there is a feeling of powerlessness. So I don't know if there is some type of conflict or communication issue in relation to people that are important to you, or you and someone that's important to you, or something that you're observing. But it feels like it affects you, and it feels like it's taking away your power. It feels breathless, so it feels like there's something that feels like it's out of your control, which makes me also feel, Susan, that maybe this is relating to two people that are really important to you, that perhaps doesn't directly involve you, but these are both important people and they're both at war at the moment. There's that sort of feeling, and that you are powerless to be able to do much about it. You can only watch and hopefully it's going to resolve itself. Watch and send out some prayers is the feeling here. So the breathless feeling too is getting my attention right now. So it feels like it's a bit hard to breathe. This energy does sit in the heart, and it does feel like something that feels very close to your heart. So something that's personal and close to your heart here. And as I'm feeling this sort of breathlessness and this energy, this soft energy coming down into your heart, it's kind of pushing out or replacing that. What is the feeling? It's like a flatness. Perhaps that's a good word to use. A flatness in your heart. And this soft cloud-like loving supportive energy is pushing out or replacing that flatness in the heart with some support and some love that's coming in. And now, because the solar plexus has also been revealed, I'm directly sending energy down to your solar plexus to help support your personal power and your courage, and help hopefully replace feelings of powerlessness that you may have been feeling lately. So now, with those areas that we've sort of concentrated on, the rest of this cloud-like energy of love and support, this rose quartz kind of energy, is coming down. It's moving down all over your body. It's coming around over your shoulders to help reduce and release the burdens that you're carrying on your shoulders. I feel it swirling around your lower back here as well, helping shift old emotions that you've been storing in here, and also down at your tailbone with things that you're dealing with at the moment that are connected on a physical level with your, perhaps with your physical survival, your physical body, your physical situation. So the energy is also swirling in around there, and then just generally throughout the rest of your body. It's going all the way down to your feet and to your toes. So you're just now like this big puff cloud of really soft pink rose quartz coloured cloud-like energy that's come into your body, but is also sort of extending out from your body as well. So you're like this puff of cloud yourself with these little eyes poking through, which looks quite comical, and it feels like it's something that's trying to help uplift, especially from the problems and the heaviness and the burden sort of energy that you may have been feeling lately, Susan. So now I feel this breeze coming through, and the breeze is coming in from the right, and it's just gently sweeping across your body, and now it's carrying away this cloud. But it's like this cloud, which I didn't realize before up until now, this cloud has felt a bit like a magnet. It feels a bit magnetized. And so this cloud that you've sort of been in with these eyeballs poking out, the cloud has also been attracting like little iron filings and little bits and pieces of debris within you. It's been attracting all this little stuff to the cloud, and now the breeze comes and carries all that away. So it's like you've just had this big magnet over you, just magnetizing out these little things, these little nitty gritty annoyances, these little bits of debris that have been niggling at you. These have been attracted to this cloud, and now the breeze is blowing it away. So there's a fresh feeling now coming in. You're left feeling this love and support, I feel, and this breeze kind of sweeping through brings a coolness, but it's more like a fresh energy. It sort of freshly just moves on, moves this energy out and refreshes you. So that's what I'm feeling, Susan. I trust this makes sense. Let's grab a card here to add. And the best card to add to finish this connection is this from the first deck. And it is the Journey, card 45. This has been a bit popular lately. It says, journey forward, life's path, keep moving. The unknown, trust in the steps you're taking. Don't give up. Take action and walk your path. That's all you can do. You can only walk your own path. So even though people might be having a sword fight over here on the sidelines, if it's not directly involving you, all you can do is just keep going on your path and let this figure itself out. It will figure itself out. Instead of worrying about it, you could be imagining holding these people involved in love, like a cloud of love or an energy of love of some sort, and just keep sending love instead of worry. That will be much more helpful. And then I do trust that things will resolve at the right time as needed for the parties involved. In the meantime, you can trust in your journey and the steps you're taking forward in your life. So thank you very much, Susan. I trust this makes sense and resonates with you. And thank you for your support. Okay, so now as I'm working, I tune in basically I work with my cards. The first card's the tune in. The second card is me tuning out. And then I tune into the next person. So I use my cards as like a tool, if you like, to help with the connections and the beginning of and the ending of each connection. Jackie, it's you now. So Jackie, please take a nice big breath. Let's see what comes up for you today. So the best card to start with is, let's go with this card. It's from the second deck. And it is Large and Looming, card 84. So this is something big that's playing out at the moment. It may be connected with overwhelm. It may not be, but it just feels something monumental, something big, something significant that's playing out at the moment for you. It might be something very important, but it just feels monumental and big. So just make sure it's not being blown out of proportion, but it doesn't feel like a molehill that's become a mountain. So it doesn't feel like it's blown out of proportion from what I'm feeling. It just feels like this is an important time and there's something important, we could say big, that's going on at this time. And it feels like just this big circle around you. And it doesn't just involve you, it probably involves other people as well. So that's what I'm picking up first. There is an energy that's coming in here at your sacral chakra, Jackie, that feels, so your sacral chakra is just below your navel. This is your emotional center. And I'm just trying to determine what it actually feels like, because there's energy moving here and it feels a little jumpy, feels a little antsy. It feels also perhaps a little heavy. And it also feels a little like it's drawing in somehow, but drawing in on the sides rather than drawing back. So it's drawing in. So it's an interesting, strange sort of feeling here. So there's energy moving here in your sacral chakra. There are old emotions, it feels. Actually, these aren't old. These are current emotions that are stirring. It feels a little fluttery, so it could even be a little of excitement. It could even be a little bit of anxiety, because anxiety and excitement aren't that... They're very close in the vibration, so they feel quite similar, like when I'm feeling them. So it feels to be jumping up, this energy. It's moving up. Now, as I'm talking about it, it's sort of growing in its momentum, a bit like a snowball that's rolling down a hill and it's getting bigger and it's gaining momentum and it's gaining speed. And it feels this is what's happening as I talk about this. It feels like it's gaining energy, it's gaining momentum, it's gaining size. This doesn't necessarily feel daunting at this point either. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. It feels like just something that I'm being aware of, if you like. So it's growing. Now, it's not necessarily growing up that much. It's more growing out. So if you had a basketball on your belly, it's more like coming out rather than up. So it wants to come out at the front. It doesn't want to come up and out, which is what usually wants to happen with this energy here. So if it's bottled up emotion that I'm feeling, it tends to want to come up and out, and it comes up with a very nauseous feeling. This is not what this is doing. It's quite exciting and it's moving out, like something wants to just move and merge out and emerge from your belly. It's like it reminds me of a lotus, actually. Reminds me like if your belly here is like the mud, but what it actually feels like is just real fertile, moist ground that feels consistent in its muddiness, and it feels lush, and it feels like you can almost smell the dirt. It just feels just so lush and fertile, and it feels like out of this, but growing from the front, is this lotus flower that's pushing up through the mud, the fertility, the muddy waters of your sacral chakra, and it's pushing out through the front is this lotus. And what I'm seeing is this bud, and it's like an arrowhead, and it's pushing up and out. So really wanting to break through the barrier of your skin and of your physical body as it breaks through the barrier and pushes out. Now, what does this mean? It feels to me like there's some type of emotional drive or an emotional pull that you have at this time that probably just sits so deep emotionally and so deep in your body. It's probably something that is difficult to make rational sense of because it feels like pure emotion, but it is mixed with a fertility. So there's a potential here. And also, it feels like it's linked with some sort of excitement and probably some sort of anxiety at times as well. So these are sort of mixing in together. But like I said before, they're very similar energies. Anxiety and excitement feel very similar in the body. So this arrowhead of this lotus flower has pushed out through your physical body, and the boundaries and the barriers, the physical boundaries and barriers. So this is very interesting. So we might think of physical boundaries and barriers like things like finances that may have been a barrier, could be your location or some other physical thing that has seemed like a barrier or a wall or an obstacle in the breakthrough or the pushing through of this. But this head of the arrow or the point of this lotus flower, this bud, pierces through that barrier. So it pierces through the whatever you deem as the physical barrier at this time, and pushes forward. And it's just so projecting forward. Like I say, it's not going up, it's going forward. So there's something here connected with your life's path, your direction, where you're going in your life is the feeling. And it feels clear. It feels like precise, this head of this lotus or the head of this arrow, like it knows where it's going. It's like a projectile, and it's focused on where it needs to be or what it needs to do. And that could be from pure emotions, because it's birthed from this emotional place, and it's birthed from the fertility, the fertile muddy waters within you. And it feels like a white lotus, but it hasn't opened yet. I can just feel that it feels white and it feels pure. So this is some intention. It feels like some intention, something that you're wanting to achieve or do in your life that's very much life path related. And you're being encouraged to just keep propelling yourself forward with this, and especially from the fertile grounds of your emotions, and probably your intuition most likely speaks to you through that emotional energy as well. So it doesn't feel unbalanced, this emotion. It feels grounded, which is part of that muddiness that I'm feeling, the earthiness. There's a grounded feeling here. It feels really beautiful and really nourishing, and full of potential. So this is the strongest thing I'm feeling here now. Now, as I just let that energy be, because I feel like it just wants to continue doing its thing, so I'm just going to let it keep doing its thing. I am drawn to the very back of this area, so your sacral chakra below your navel. I'm drawn through your body to your lower back here, which is the back of your sacral chakra. This tends to be the area where we do hold old emotions from the past, where we can bottle things up, and sort of things can become louder or blown out of proportion here. It does feel quite tender here at your lower back. So I feel that there is some detachment perhaps it's happening from old emotional ties or old dreams that you had, that you were emotionally invested in. There's some emotional investment, emotional goals I feel like you've had that you hadn't probably let go of yet. So a good example might be is when we're in a relationship, a serious relationship, we tend to have goals and dreams of, I want to travel here, I want to do this, or whatever it might be. When the relationship breaks down, or if the relationship breaks down, I should say, then we need to release those ties and those goals that we had an investment in some way. So there's a sort of similar feeling here, like this time and place is not, those goals and dreams aren't going to manifest like they once had the potential to do. And this is okay because things change. So it feels like a detaching from old goals and old dreams, old promises that were made that had an emotional investment. So what I'm feeling this to be is like the roots of this lotus are kind of plugged in or stuck in here at the back of your lower back. And I feel just this little twist and a little unplug here that unplugs this tie and then helps free up this lotus to be able to become like an arrow and move and spring forward and propel forward in your life. So this has helped detach from your limitations and push this part forward again. Now, what this will show up as, I don't know, but it'd be something that seems to be personal and and significant and important to you, is the feeling. So I trust that makes sense, Jackie. That's a strange one, that's for sure. So let's grab a card to add here. And you might feel energy moving in your body too as I talk about things, just see how you feel. The best card to add here to finish this off for you, Jackie, is from the first deck, and it is accomplishment. So this is stopping and noticing the view of where you find yourself. And yes, you're moving to some height or some peak. There is some goal, and this is validating. There is some goal or some plan, some intention that you have, even if it's not exactly clear yet, although I would be surprised if it's not, because of this arrowhead feels like it knows exactly where it's going. So there is a peak that you're moving towards, and this card shows that you're on the journey up the mountain, up towards that peak, and that you're being encouraged to spend some time and enjoy the view of where you find yourself and how far you've come. And yes, you've still got a bit of a ways to go, but you've also come a long way too. So this is about acknowledging how far you've come. So that's that ties things up. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Thanks so much, Jackie, and thanks so much for your support. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, Jackie. Oh, yes. Interesting. Thank you. All right, let's see who's next today. This person. And it is KantiDevi Wedad. So, Kanti, nice big breath. And let's see what comes up for you in your energy. Okay, I'm being very much drawn to your hips before I start. So there is direction, there is movement happening. You have, from the second deck, you have Break the Spell. This is a very interesting card. It says unbinding contracts, obligations and promises once made. Release from the narcissist, waking up, a realization of living a lie, influence and truth. So unbinding contracts, obligations and promises once made. Things are changing, and the promises that you did once make are being questioned, is the feeling, or perhaps are not possible. Similar to what I was talking about when I was connecting with Jackie's the lower back here, and this detachment from the past goals or the past promises, the past things that were looking like they were going to happen, but they never did. So this is a similar energy. There's a breaking of something here, a breaking of the spell that's coming up with this particular card. But I'm being led down into your hips here, Kanti, and it feels like there's room that you've been clearing up in your hips. And this sounds very strange, but it's like your hips are cupboards or wardrobes. And you've been clearing out the clutter in your hips. You've been clearing out the clutter in your wardrobes or cupboard. In the space, you've been making space in here for new direction, for stepping out and stepping into something new. So it feels like, and the hips are very much about direction. So they're about walking forward and walking forward in our life. So there's something that you've been, or things that you've been clearing out, and I feel that your hips feel really clear, like an empty cupboard or wardrobe, and you're getting ready to bring some new things into your life and bring some new things into your body and into these cupboards or wardrobes here at your hips. So your hips are ready to move. They obviously feel very big to me and not necessarily like you've got big hips or something, but energetically they feel huge, like your hips feel big, like you know, like it reminds me of like a donkey, and a donkey carrying a couple of sacks, and the sacks are empty but they seem to also be full of air. Maybe they're like a balloon on either side. So there is this a strong feeling that you're carrying something, or you're preparing to create something that's quite important for you moving forward, and the steps that you're taking now and the steps that you've been releasing yourself from. So just leaving your hips to do their thing and to support you in your forward movement. There's energy too that's moving up through your body, so moving up from your solar plexus chakra, which is your power center, and up into your heart, up into your throat and out. So there's a release, it feels, a release of control, a release of being in charge, perhaps a release of something to do with unhealthy power, unhealthy control. It could even be the side of you that wants to manipulate, the side that wants to force others to do what you want. So it feels like there's a shift in that. Like it feels like steam or fumes that are lifting up and out through your solar plexus. So I feel like you're clearing unhealthy power here in your solar plexus, and you're filtering that up through your heart and letting go. So it's coming up and out through your mouth, through your breath. I feel like you're doing this. And now I want to focus on the heart. And there's such a, okay, what are the good words here? There's a gentleness, there's a pure sense of love as well that's coming into in here to your heart. There's a sense of freedom here in your heart too, because I get this visual of a very large bird in flight, and it feels like freedom, it feels like upliftment here in your heart. And I feel like you've worked very hard on clearing and feeling more love and depth in your heart here. There's energy moving to at the base of your skull. So this is the base of your, or the back of your third eye chakra. So this is usually about old trust issues that might be stirring up at this time as you question, is this what I need to be doing, as you prepare to journey towards the unknown. And that's what I'm getting drawn back down to your hips now. It feels like you've been preparing for the unknown, preparing for change, and that's what's been clearing out in your hips. And you might find that there will be a clearing of clutter, like a physical clearing, that's also going to help further clear out and prepare your hips for the move and for the action that needs to be taken as you walk towards the unknown. A bit like that journey card that I just pulled. So it feels really beautiful. There's a lot of energy shifting. There's a lot of refinement that's taking place as you refine who you are from a power perspective and that balance that you're seeking, who you are from a heart perspective and the balance that you're seeking in there. I feel that this is all refinement. These are all just little threads of refinement rather than clearing big chunks of things. It feels like a refinement that's taking place. It feels really nice. So there's a balance that's coming in as you keep shifting and refining the intricacies of who you are. And I feel like there's something to hear about this unbinding contracts and obligations and promises. So I feel like things are changing, and it's like, well, I might have promised that I would do this, but things have changed and I'm not going to be able to do this now. So there are things that are shifting that are very refining. So they feel very fine, like little fine threads. But this is all part of the detachment as you move towards the unknown. I trust that makes sense, Kanti. Let's grab a card to add here. And the best card is this. It's also from the second deck. Thank you. And it's Remove the Mask card 99. You have the confronting cards here, Kanti. It says, reveal the truth, uncovered, stop masking, real, don't pretend or distract yourself, be honest, deep healing, true power emerging, and show yourself. This feels quite confronting. And it feels like this is part of the refinement that you're doing, Kanti, is you're confronting these little niggly flaws and these aspects of yourself that take you out of your balance or take you out of your connection and depth. So this is all part of the refinement. Remove the mask. Your true power is emerging. That really resonates too because of the stuff we did in your solar plexus chakra. So thank you very much, Kanti, and I trust this makes sense to you. Namaste. Okay, so we have 3 more people on the list. Thank you all for being here today. The next person is Jane Corlett. Okay, Jane, nice big breath. And let's see where you're going and flowing today. So let's start with the best card to begin this connection. is this also from the second deck? And it is receive assistance. So this is suggesting that help has arrived. It's not coming. It's not just a dream or a fantasy. Like, help has literally arrived. So this is showing that it's here. Now, if you're not noticing it, maybe there's a sense of closedness that you might be not noticing because you're closed off and not open to receiving the help that's been offered. So notice if you believe or think that, yes, help is here for me, I'm using it now, it's available. Or if you are still waiting for help and no one's here to help me, no one's here to support me. So this is showing help has arrived. So there's now a question on being, are you open to that, or have you been closed off to that? And I feel like in some ways that's up to you to determine, because it feels like it could be either, actually, is what I'm feeling at this point. So help has arrived, and I can feel that very strongly, yet there is this sort of question mark. Has it really arrived? Is it really here? Maybe the help hasn't arrived the way you wanted it to arrive or how you hoped it would be. So then you might be closed off to the help that's there, that's actually available now, while you're looking over here and waiting for help to be this specific thing. So you might even, an example of this might be that you're waiting on a specific person that's important to you to offer help to you, and maybe they're busy, maybe they're not noticing that you need it, maybe they're not in a position to offer you assistance right now. So if you're tunnel visioned and waiting for that person to step up and help you, but yet then that's 10% of what the scope of your vision is. So 10% is tunnel vision towards that. Yet the other, say 80 or 90%, if you are open to it, there is help coming that could come in all these other directions that would totally multiply and amplify what you're hoping and expecting to achieve from this one source. So it feels like having that tunnel vision is closing you off to the other potential. So what I feel like I need to do is help open you up to see the 100% of the options or the receiving that's available to you, right? And move you away from whatever this tunnel vision is that's honing you in on a specific thing that is not where the energy's coming from. So while you're distracted over here, the energy's trying to come in, but this is all closed off. That's the feeling here. Now, as I talk about this, I'm feeling a pressure, a very sharp pressure here on the right temple. So this feels very strong. This is connected with the mind, with your mind and your thinking at the moment. So what I want to actually do is I want to just whip some energy through. And I want to whip and close off or detach, cut away, remove this tunnel. I want to sort of just cut it, like if it's a tunnel that you're looking here at, I want to just cut that away and divert your attention away from the specific tunnel vision thing and open it up. So what I'm feeling is this cutting away of this tunnel and now the opening up of your body at the front here. So from the front, so where are we going? We're going all the way to the sacral chakra here below your navel, and all the way up around. So we're going up to your crown. So all of your chakras, except for the base chakra at the moment, are included in this opening. Now this pressure here in the temple is getting stronger. So there does feel to be some doubt or some fear about receiving, or something that's coming in that's very sharp. I mean, this is a very sharp pain, like someone's got a needle and stabbing it into your temple. It's very sharp. It feels like it's affecting the eyes, which shows that it's affecting your perception of things. So what you perceive as the help that you need is perhaps not exactly true. And as I talk more about breaking away from this tunnel vision, this gets stronger. So as I'm more moving towards opening you up, this gets stronger. So there is some invested interest in the tunnel vision that you have, which is probably why you want it so much, or why you've got expectations attached to it. So by removing that and questioning it and opening yourself up to more is throwing a bit of a panic to this part of you that's attached to this. So I'm not going to, like, I'm not going to allow that energy to dictate, because I don't feel that it's in your best interest for your highest truth. So I'm going to keep opening you up. And this pain, in fact, now it's subsided. Now I've said that I'm not going to return back to the tunnel vision. It's actually left. So it's like a force or an energy. It's like a small part of you that has tried to keep you small by keeping you with the tunnel vision. So that feels like it's shifted, because since I've said that, I have not had that pain come up in the temple. So something has shifted, and there is a realization that I'm serious about breaking that tunnel vision and opening you up. So now we can focus again on this opening up. So it's like a fanning out. So if we had a fan, like a Japanese or an Asian fan, and the fan was closed, it feels like we're flicking open this fan, but the fan fans all the way around into a circle, and it's fanning all the way around this front part of your body in a circle here. And this feels like it's opening you up from that closed fan to the open fan. And it's shifting energy here in your eyes. So what you're perceiving, how you're seeing things and viewing things is shifting. And I feel like there's an openness, like you could wipe the sleep out of your eyes, like and this blurriness that was there before, especially on this right side, has also cleared. And there's a sense of openness, even just in the eyes. So this possibility that help has arrived, or this possibility that I have good things here available to me, even though I may have wanted it to be something very specific and something very literal, something very like a 10% of what's possible. So now you're open to like 100% of what's possible, and maybe going down that tunnel vision path is the best option. I don't think it is from what I'm feeling, but let's be open to maybe it is. But maybe there's something better. Maybe there's something better out there. So this openness, this feeling of having this full range of view or vision of the potential that's available, this has really opened you up. So all through the front of your body is now open like a big fan, and your eyes are open like they weren't before. And now we can re-tap into this energy of this card, which is that help has arrived. Assistance is here for you right now. It's not coming, and it's not coming necessarily in a specific way that you want, but it is here. It's right here. It's right in front of you. It's in your grasp. It's in your grip. It's able to be gripped right now. It's in your reach. It's not just out of your reach and coming soon. It's here right now on your doorstep. And now you can imagine, I'm imagining you walking over to your front door, opening the door and collecting these boxes that have been left for you, this energy of help or support or whatever it is that you need. You can gather these boxes and bring them in. You're bringing them into your body and into yourself, letting yourself receive what has become available to you. And these might be something that takes you by a really pleasant surprise. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I really needed that, but I do. That kind of feeling here. So really opening yourself up to let yourself receive the good, the help, the support that's available to you now. So I trust that makes sense to you, Jane. Let's grab another card to add here. And the best card is, to finish this up and to add here, is another from the second deck. And it is overcome. Overcome. So this is overcome obstacles, especially those created by your own negativity and attitude, bad habits and mind. Avoid blame. Face the darkness with your light. And what's very interesting about this, so this is like a being of light. This is like a being of shadow. And the energy being projected directly out of the eyes. But also it reminds me of the tunnel vision. The tunnel vision, waiting for something specific that hasn't arrived or isn't going to arrive. So we've got an strong eye connection. We've got the tunnel vision connection. But this is about blasting away that side of ourselves, really, or for you, Jane, that side of yourself that has been fixated or had expectations attached to receiving something in a certain specific exact way from perhaps a certain specific person or in a specific manner of some sort, that actually that has been limiting. So by shifting that and opening you up and allowing you to receive what is available to you right now in the here and now has allowed you to shine your light and overcome that shadow side, really, that's wanting to keep you small and narrow and have that tunnel vision towards that thing that was probably never going to arise. So your higher self, your soul, your spirit has become louder in this connection than your lower mind, your shadow, your fear that has probably been honed in on that, with that tunnel vision on that certain thing. I hope that makes sense. But basically it's like a light versus dark thing. So you deserve to receive what's available to you, the help, the support, the love, the abundance, whatever it is. So I trust that makes sense. Thank you, Jane. Thanks for your support. Namaste. Okay, let's see who's next. I'm just going to take a quick drink. How's everyone doing? We have 2 more people on the list. If you would like to be a part of this next month, you're very welcome. All you need to do is become a patron. You'll find the link in the video description, and at the $50 level or higher, you're automatically included in this particular event. So if it's something that you'd like to learn more about, please have a look on the link in the description. So Carol White, you're next. You're now. So Carol, please take a nice big breath and you are ready to move. You're ready to go. Your bags are packed and you're ready to hit the road. That's the feeling here. So energetically, your bags are packed and you're ready to go. You're ready to see what happens on this next new phase of your life. You're ready to go on an adventure. I see you standing at like a train station and you've got a suitcase on either side of you, and you're dressed up like it reminds me of Thelma and Louise for some reason, but I haven't seen that movie for decades. But there's just a picture of her with a scarf on. I think she throws the scarf off in the wind, and there's this feeling of freedom and just waiting out for the next train to come. There's nothing else you need to do. Release expectations is your card. Release expectations and don't worry about the future. Release. Trust in the flowing moment. You are safe and protected. Don't worry about the future. There is just this freedom here, this readiness and this freedom that you're ready to go on this next adventure of your life, this next phase. And I think probably more than ever before, you kind of have a bit of an idea about what this phase is going to look like. There are certain criteria and certain things that you've put out there as intentions that you want to have as part of this next chapter. In many ways, this is the finalization of a very long chapter in your life, ready for the new chapter to start. And the criteria for this next chapter is very strong and clear. And it's not fixed because it still feels fairly flexible, but it's direct. It's the criteria is clear, but it's also flexible and open to shifting is the feeling here. So it's a bit like, if you come out of a pretty dodgy relationship, and there are certain parts about that partner that you don't want to have in another partner, that you got to leave that relationship, hopefully with a certain set of criteria as to, like, I definitely don't want any new potential partner to have this quality, that quality, that quality. And so we have this sort of criteria, this intention as we move forward into the next phase. So I feel like you've got this list of criteria. Your bags are packed energetically. You're ready to go on this adventure. You're ready to free yourself of the responsibilities that you've had for this very long, decades long chapter in your life. And it feels freeing. So, where are you at energetically? There's energy shifting across the back of your lower back that feels like it's sort of stretching through and pulling through. In fact, it feels a bit tight through here, like it's tight going across. So it feels like a tension here at your lower back, Carol. So this is old emotion that you're carrying, that you're holding on to here at the back. And I feel like I just want to cut this. I want to cut this. It feels like a really wide elastic band that is pulled tight, and I just want to cut it here, release that tension, cut it and get the band out. So that is shifted. There is now like a space here in your lower back. And so I'm now sending energy in, and it feels like a really nice bright orange coming into your lower back. And it's replacing just on the surface where this tight band was. So it's just filling up that area where that band has been removed, and it feels energizing. This orange feels like energy. It feels revitalizing and vital energy, but it's revivifying this orange energy, this orange light as it comes into your back, your lower back, and also wraps around just at the back here of your hips. Now I'm feeling energy moving up through the back of your body, so up from this area, up through your spine. So specifically up your spine, this orange light is carried up through your spine and all the way up to the base of your skull here. And here it starts to glow. This orange light's glowing here like a sphere of orange light, glowing here at the base of your skull and helping bring energy and recharge to this particular area. So we're looking at the back of the throat and the back of the third eye chakra here at the back of your neck at the base of your skull. So this is energizing your third eye and your throat chakra, and like a recharge feeling. So helping you get through these next months, to help get through these next weeks as you tie off this chapter and as you prepare to go on this next chapter and birth this new chapter in your life. This is like a recharge. If you were a phone going flat, it's plugging you into electricity. This is charging you up through this, really through the core of your body, from your lower back all the way up to the base of your skull through your spine. So orange light recharging. And those of you who are connecting to, if you have visualized this, you might find yourself feeling recharged as well. So letting yourself receive, letting yourself be recharged and refueled. If the battery's going flat, we are refueling this battery, the battery of the body, the battery of energy to help us keep going. And now this orange light just expands from the base of the skull and expands out like this big egg shape around your body to help hold this nice high energy, to help you keep energized as much as your body will allow, in between sleep and things like that, but keeping your body, your whole body energized. Also keeping the inside of this sort of egg shape of light, keeping this nice and positive and energized, and also keeping negative energy out. So it's a bit like reinforcing your protective shield around you here, Carol. So this feels really nice. I feel like your energy feels uplifted. It feels straight also through the spine. So there's a straightening feeling, an upright feeling, a uplifting feeling here through the body, and also this protection that's taking place to help you see these weeks and months through. That's the feeling. Let's grab a card, see what we need to add here for you. And the best card is, let's go with this one today. It's from the first deck, and it is blossoming. So this is you blossoming and growing. I feel this energy here of the stalk. This is like the energy that's been running through your spine. And this here, this blossoming flower, this is the energy here at the base of your skull. So it's burst out, this sphere, this ball that I talked about has burst open, has this big, beautiful white flower here with an orange tinge around the back of your head. So it actually looks quite beautiful, like you're wearing this beautiful flower back here, and it's huge. And so there's this blossoming taking place, this opening feeling here through the base of your skull and the back of your neck. This card can highlight some discomfort as you grow, because there is this sort of pulling apart feeling. Things change. We need to let things go, embrace the unknown, that kind of thing. So there is probably some discomfort that will be taking place in your body if you haven't already been feeling it. It's a bit like the caterpillar as it transforms into the butterfly in the cocoon. There's this sort of physical pulling apart and being put back together again in a new way. And that's sort of part of this transformation energy that I feel with you, Carol. So I trust that makes sense. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks for allowing me to connect with you today. Thanks, Carol. Namaste. Okie dokie, let's get these cards back. And we've got one more person here. Who is it? Of course, it is Nicki Mohler. Nicki, take a nice big breath. You're lucky last today. So let's grab a card. See which card you need. The best card to start this connection for you, Nicki, is this. And for some reason, the first thing I'm picking up here is about boundaries, is like your boundary fence. Your boundary fence needing repair. It's probably the best way to say it for now. But let's look at this. This was our very first card, and it's self-love. So it's come up twice now. It says, spend time in reflection, silence, or solitude to help you connect with who you are. Make time to ground, meditate, or create support and love. So, love coming in. Okay, so let's look at these boundaries. So I see this fence around you and it's in need of repair. So it feels like part of your boundary fence has come down, and the area that feels like it's come down is front left, and it feels like fences down. You've got livestock going one side to the other and no one knows where they're supposed to be. So there is this feeling of perhaps confusion or uncertainty. Maybe there's an energy draining sort of feeling here too, because it does feel like things are coming in and things are going out that probably are best not be doing those things. So I do feel like it's quite important that we repair your boundaries. So I'm seeing it as like a fence, like a really robust farm fence, and this front left side has come down. So we imagine now we're moving over to this fence, and we've got all the tools we need to repair this fence. So we start repairing it. So I see you, me, and some of your spiritual team. So there's about 5 or 6 of us, about half a dozen here, repairing this fence. So this is the first important thing to do, is repair the fence, and then we can work out what energy in here needs to go and what energy out there needs to come, and then we'll be reset kind of thing. So the boundary fence is quickly being fixed with this team that we've got. So the wires going up, the wood's been replaced, the nails are being put in, whatever we need to do here to repair this fence. Now I just do a zoom around and we do a scan of your fence here. There's a bit that's coming down here, really just slightly off center here on the right, that we just do a little bit of repair on, and going around the back. Now around the back feels dark, so it feels like the dark side of the moon kind of thing. So we're going out of the daylight and into the night here behind you, almost exactly at 3 o'clock here, if you were looking ahead at a clock, all the way around to 9 o'clock. That's all like night, and this is all day. So there's a day and a night thing, which is interesting, that's playing out. So we're just doing a scan. I feel like I've got a torch and just scanning all along your fence here. Now the fence at the back is higher and thicker and stronger for some reason. So that's from the back here all the way around to sort of 9 o'clock, and then back to where we repaired the fence, which is around sort of like 10:30. sort of time here. So your fence now feels secure and repaired. And now it feels like we've got some stray sheep here on the inside of this fence. So the team, your team, we all go and collect all these big sheep. I mean, they need a shear. They're very woolly. And we pick them up and we throw them, or we don't throw them. We gently place them on the other side of the fence, but we get them out of your space. These are strays. These are not, these feel like parasites or strays. They don't need to be here in your space. So there's probably about half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 of this sheep that we put over, and we're putting them over that same side that we just repaired. And now you've got a wolf, like a power animal wolf, that's patrolling your fence to make sure nothing unwanted, unsupportive, unhealthy comes in over your fence. And this feels important. So there must be something going on at the moment for you, Nicki, around boundaries, and how you're using your time, how you're using your energy, and what are you giving too much time to? Where are your priorities slipping up? That kind of thing. So the wolf, this is one of your power animals, is just on regular patrol, keeping everything in that needs to be in and everything out that needs to be out. So nothing can come in that doesn't align with your truth and your highest truth. And the space inside we want to keep nice and supportive and healthy for you. And there does feel to be a calm that's coming in now. Like there was a tension or a confusion, a overwhelming sort of feeling before. And it feels like a calm has come in, which feels really nice. And now you have the time and the space and the room to be able to do what you need to do. So there might also be a making yourself a room. If you've got a house full of people, you might want to try and make a corner or a room that's a place where you can go to and find your calm in the boundaries of that space while others are doing their thing in their space. So I don't know if that's applicable to your situation, but that's sort of a feeling here too. Making the time, making the space and the room to do what you need to do, to find your calm and find your place of connection, to find that place of self-love, really. So, I don't know, see how that resonates with you, Nicki. Let's grab a card here to add here at the end. And the best card to add is, let's go with this card. It's from the second deck. And it says here, dedicated focus. Dedicated focus. It says here, be consistent, remain dedicated, give it your attention. Be mentally focused. You are capable. Believe in yourself. Have a go. See it through. So this is a focus, isn't it? And in some ways, relaxed boundaries are a distraction. They distract us from what we could be or maybe should be focusing on. So things can become very messy when our boundaries are down and we're giving away of our time and our space and our energy just willy-nilly every which way, which then depletes us. So with boundaries repaired, things shifted out, and this new sense of focus and calm. I feel like this is where this card's fitting in. It's a focus, it's a dedication, and perhaps working out your priorities and what you need to focus on and refocusing on that. It could be to do with your self-love, at least initially, as you reconnect and use this time to reconnect. But it is a focus. So when your boundaries are down and everything's running every which way, it's like the opposite of focus. It's scattered and it's messy. So this is a return to focus, a return to calm, a return to boundaries. So I trust that makes sense. Thank you so much, Nicki. Thanks for your support. Thanks for allowing me to connect with you, and thank you all for allowing me to connect with you today. Thank you so much for your support. I will be back on Friday. That's Friday my time. It may be Thursday for you, for our other healing event for the month, our healing list event. And I will be back live streaming right here on this channel on Sunday. It may be Saturday for you, because I'll be opening my solo exhibition, which is the first event in celebrating Temple of Balance's 20th birthday, which is in February. So hopefully you can join me for that. If you can't join me live, you can connect with the replay later. And I will be doing a bit of sound healing during that opening. So thanks for connecting today. Have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Thank you very much. Bye for now.